Today I'll be reacting to my viewers' setups. Join my Discord server if you want to be featured in a future video. So first, let's see the first setup. So this is Absi's setup. He's actually one of my in real life friends, and from what I remember, he's got a 4060 GPU. He's also got an i7 CPU. He's got 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. And now for his peripherals, he's got the Yunzi 75 keyboard. He's also got, I think, a Logitech mouse, and he's got a Razer mouse pad, and he does have two monitors. I think the monitor on the left that's vertical is 75 Hz and his main monitor is 165. So overall the setup is pretty clean, but there's nothing too good. So for the first setup, I'll have to give this a 7.5 out of 10. I would recommend going with like a color theme for this setup and maybe putting like some RGB in or like a light bar on top of your monitor. Okay, so now for the second setup. This setup is also one of my IRL friends' setups, and honestly, it looks really nice. I really love the white and blue theme of it. Could be a little bit cleaner, like straighten out your desk a little bit, but other than that, it's really good. The specs, from what I've heard, is I think it's a 4060. It has an i9, it has 16 gigabytes of RAM, and his monitor is a curved, I think, 240 Hz monitor. So he also has the Yunzi 75 keyboard as Avshi did, and I'm pretty sure it looks like he has a Razer mouse with a glorious mouse pad. So overall, I reckon this setup is actually really good. It just could do with some tidying up and a little bit of cable management, but other than that, if you applied them, I would give this a 10 out of 10. Okay, so next setup is Glide Striker's setup. So his PC specs are for the CPU, he's got the Xeon E5. For the GPU, he's got an RX 580. He's got 512 gigabytes of SSD, and he's got 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. For his peripherals, his monitor is an 165 Hz Ultra Gear monitor. Keyboard is the RK61 with red switches, and his mouse is the Logitech G203. So some things that you could add on to this setup is probably changing the mouse color from blue to black, and also changing the mouse pad because I think it's a bit over the top. And other than that, I think it was really good. Maybe you could add a light bar too on top of the monitor, but I would have to rate this setup as 7.5. Okay, so now on to Blinder's setup. So as you can see, his setup is actually pretty nice looking. He's got a Xiao Liang K87 keyboard with a Monolo mouse. He's also got a Fluxfy custom mouse pad, and he has a monitor which is 75 Hz, and his secondary monitor is only 60 Hz. And for his microphone, it's a really good microphone. He's got the Fine AM8 microphone. And now onto his laptop specs. He's got an i5 12450H CPU, 16 gigabytes of RAM, a 2050 GPU, and the actual laptop itself is an Acer Aspire A715. So with this setup, I think it's actually really good, but there are a couple things that you could upgrade or just honestly change around. I feel like the color theme isn't really very specific. Same as Glide Strikers, you gotta really add their mouse pad with different colored keyboard and monitor. So if you could change that to match everything, I think it would be even better. But what I'm gonna rate this is an 8.5 out of 10. Okay, so now for the last setup, we have Eddie DL's setup. His setup actually looks really nice, and he's got some very high quality products in his setup. So for his actual specs and accessories, first up we'll go for his specs. His CPU is an Intel i9 10th gen. He's got 32 gigs of RAM, and he has a 3070 Ti. The mouse is the Logitech G403 Hero, and the keyboard is the Acco 3068B Plus with pink switches. The headset is the HyperX Cloud Stinger, and the mic he got is the Shure SM7B, and the camera is the Elgato Facecam. So honestly, all these products are really high quality and very expensive, and as you can see, he's got really good specs on his PC, and the vibe of his whole setup is actually really nice. The only thing is that I reckon he should probably like a headset stand so he can have somewhere to put his headset, but other than that, it is really really good, so I'd have to give this setup a 9.7 out of 10. Anyways guys, thank you for watching. Sorry this video wasn't very long or very entertaining. I do have some good videos coming up later in this month, so hopefully you guys stay tuned for that. But this was kind of just a filler video, so thank you for watching.